Underway. Oh, look at that. That was perfect. Welcome back to the podcast, everybody. Today we'll be doing NFL picks. We were expecting Jacob for our NCAA football picks this week. He's very busy, so he also doesn't have a whole lot of time, but we'll try to breeze through this one as quickly as possible. I do have his picks for this week, so I'll put them in as we go through. Our first game, however, is currently playing right now. It seems as though the Browns might just get away. Maybe. We'll see how it goes. Landry's hurt again. But the Browns are currently winning 17-14 with 2 minutes and 30 seconds left to go in the fourth quarter. And they have the first down. That'll probably end it. So I picked the Broncos because the entire Browns team is pretty much hurt. All the running, both Chubb and Hunt were both out. Odell and Landry were both hurting. No Baker Mayfield. A lot of injuries for the Browns, not to mention both of their tackles being out. But both Sam and Jacob both had the Browns winning. I had Broncos. Looks like they'll be right. I'll be wrong. So we start with the first one here for Sunday's slate of games, which is the Washington football team on the road against the Green Bay Packers. It's a dumpster fire over in Washington. Give me the Green Bay Packers in a wipeout.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The football team does not look very good. Specifically, the Washington football team does not look very good. Very good. Pretty much what we have here is Washington. The only reason they were able to stay in that game anywhere close to Kansas City is because Kansas City kept giving them the ball in the first half. And you saw that they couldn't do anything on offense other than that. Green Bay is a powerhouse right now. Pretty much what they want against Chicago in Chicago, which is tough to do. And they're at home this week against a pretty bad Washington football team. So give me the Packers.
All right, and Jacob has the same thing. So now we have the Kansas City Chiefs on the road against the Tennessee Titans. Here's a good one. Tennessee lucked out from a pretty bad call by the Bills. I don't know what they were thinking by going for it on fourth. Just kick the field goal, and go to overtime because Tennessee hasn't been able to stop you all game long. Why would you go for it when you just can kick the field goal, take the 3 points, and head to overtime and take your chances then? It still mind boggles me. But the Kansas City Chiefs head to Tennessee. Chiefs have not looked great. They've had the defense has been very sluggish this year. I expect a very high scoring game in this one between Kansas City and Tennessee. I think this is a 50-50 game, but I want to take Tennessee because the Chiefs have not looked good, but that's exactly why I'm taking Kansas City. This Chiefs team is going to find its footing soon enough. I think there's no better time to get it right than right now. The Titan defense is very weak, shall I say. It's not the greatest. So I think the Chiefs take advantage. They explode offensively, and they outscored the Titans in this one.
Yeah, this is not going to be a good game to watch if you like defense. This is going to be a high-scoring game.
No.
Unless Kansas City just wants to give the ball to Tennessee, like I was mentioning, how Mahomes pretty much just gave the ball a couple times to Washington last week. Pretty much the Titans are. Oh, that's nice. Thank you. Anyway, the Chiefs. I'm gonna take the Titans because I don't think the Chiefs are done with their turnover problems just yet. And if you turn the ball over to Tennessee, Derrick Henry will run you over because you turn the ball over to Tennessee. So I'm going with the Titans for this one, and they really just keep the Chiefs down as much as possible so the Raiders can maybe get a foothold. Maybe possibly, I don't know. Whatever's happening there. But just Go Titans.
And Jacob is I'm sorry, he's in line with me. He has, I believe, Kansas City, if I looked at that correctly. Yes, he has Kansas City. So now we go to the next one, the Atlanta Falcons on the road against the Miami Dolphins. Holy cow, Miami has really been bad this year. The Falcons obviously are bad, and everyone knew that, but Miami has not been good. After last year, everyone had high hopes for the Dolphins to have a great year, and not even close. Not even close. So there's big time rumors about there's apparently trade talks between the Texans and the Dolphins intensifying as of lately between a Deshaun Watson trade. So that's something to keep an eye on. But Atlanta heading to Miami, this Miami team has not been looking good. Atlanta, they haven't looked good either. But I guess I have more. You know what? I'm taking Miami. This Atlanta team is not good. Miami in a home game. I don't have much faith in the Dolphins, but I do think they can at least win this one against Atlanta.
I don't even know what to think for this game. These two teams confuse me mightily. The Dolphins, I thought as soon as they got Tagovailoa,
Tungavailoa. Tua.
As soon as they got Tua back, I thought for sure that they would just pound the Jaguars, But clearly that did not happen, as the Jaguars their first win in the last 19 games. That's what they got. Their first win in the last 19 games. So I'm going to go with pretty much... it's so tough to pick. I'm going to go with the Falcons, though. I think they found a little bit of rhythm on offense against the Giants and against the Jets, which is obviously not saying much because it's the Giants and the Jets. But they got a couple wins on their belt, and I think Atlanta just has the advantage here. So I'm going to go with Atlanta.
And Srbensky has the same thing. He has the Atlanta Falcons taking it against the Dolphins. I could see it going the other way, but I guess I'm going with Miami at home. I don't know. It's a complete toss-up. Take your pick. We have the New York Jets on the road against the New England Patriots. Jets suck. They're bad. So I'm taking the New England Patriots in this game. Patriots have not looked great this year, but they're certainly better than New York Jets, and they almost took down the Cowboys last week. That's a good game. But I definitely have the Patriots winning this one against New York.
Interesting you say that. Jets suck. Jets one win, the Titans. Which that makes complete sense.
Yeah.
I don't even know that. Something has to give in this game, though. Patriots haven't won a game at home this year. Jets haven't won a game on the road this year. 0-3 on the road. Patriots 0-4 at home. So one of those two things is going to have to give. I don't know if the Patriots just don't like playing at home anymore or something. No. But I mean, they've played in close games at home overall. Last week with the Cowboys going overtime, and then when they had Tampa Bay in town, they only lost by 2. I really think the Patriots are the better team. But that one glaring win for the Jets against the Titans really just throws me off, and I'm hoping that was just a once in a while thing. So I think I'm going to go with the Patriots here. I'm going to go with the Patriots, and I believe the Patriots already beat the Jets at home, if I'm not mistaken.
They won on the road.
Yeah, they already won in New York. So yeah, this will be their third win of the year against the Jets. I think I think it'll be a closer game. But I think the Patriots will pull it off.
All right, and Srbensky has the same thing. Patriots over the Jets. Next one is the slumping. I mean, when I say slumping, I mean slumping Carolina Panthers on the road against the New York Giants. I know the Panthers have lost 3 straight. I know the Panthers have looked terrible since their 3-0 start. They're also playing the New York Giants. And the Giants have almost half their team gone, like the Browns. No, not a lot of guys are healthy, and some of them are just coming back from injury. This Giants team is not good. They haven't looked good. A lot of guys are out. And as bad as the Panthers have been, they are certainly better than the Giants. I have the Panthers winning this one in New York at MetLife.
Opponent for these two teams, New Orleans. They both beat New Orleans.
Like, that makes any sense.
Yeah, no. That's the only 2 losses for New Orleans so far this year, too. So, go figure there. It really is interesting to think about. The Panthers started the year off 3-0, now they're 3-3. So this is definitely a good get back on track game, especially for Sam Darnold to put up some more stats. Maybe Trevor Hubbard will get a touchdown or 2, which is really interesting. I don't know if his name is actually pronounced Chuba Hubbard, because that's how Joe Davis was saying that. It was either 2 weeks ago. Yeah, it was 2 weeks ago. Joe Davis was saying Chuba Hubbard. I was like, Chuba? Is that how you actually say his name? But
it is. I like to say Chuba.
It is Chuba? Okay.
Yeah, it is Chuba. I just like saying Chuba to say Chuba Hubba.
Yeah. Okay, so that's the first time I've heard it like that. But yeah, Panthers are going to pick up their 4th win of the year against another subpar team, making the Panthers really just an average team at best, which is what I think.
All right, and Serbenski has a shocking pick. He has the Giants. So he's going bold pick this one. He has the New York Giants taking down the Panthers. He'd have to be present to tell you why, but he's got the Giants. And so we have another big game in the 1 o'clock window with the Cincinnati Bengals on the road against the Baltimore Ravens. Here is a big matchup in the division, actually. I mean, these two teams are absolutely Bengals have been above and beyond what people expected them to be. Baltimore has been obviously very impressive this year. Expect some fireworks. I think both offenses will perform. I want to take the Bengals, but Baltimore's got really good. They both have really good teams. Bengals defense has been performing well. The Raven defense has been performing well, but I give the Ravens the edge at home. I think the experience is a little more for the Ravens as well. It should be a very fun game, but I think Baltimore takes it.
Yeah, this will be Browns just won, by the way, 17-14. So that pushes them to 4-3, and they're a game behind the winner. If the Bengals win, they'll be a game behind both teams, and if the Ravens win, they'll be a couple of games behind them. But if the Bengals can win, they can keep the Browns in the division hunt if the Browns get healthy again. But obviously, this game is not about the Browns. This game is about the Bengals and the Ravens, and it's in Baltimore. It's going to be it'll be the key. Cincinnati has been playing very well this year. A lot of people said, "Oh, there goes his Achilles. There goes his ACL," because they thought they didn't give him enough help. Which, evidently enough, Jamar Chase was all the help he needed so far. They have been in every game they've played in. They obviously they destroyed the Lions. They played mainly NFC North teams so far. They played the Lions, the Vikings, and the Packers, going 2-1 in the NFC North. But the Ravens have played, I think, a much tougher schedule. Beaten the Chiefs. They've beaten the who they just beat.
Ravens, Chargers.
Oh yeah, the Chargers. They really just put a pounding on the Chargers. That was a real shocker last week.
Yeah.
When they absolutely manhandled the Chargers. Chargers couldn't get anything going on offense. They had that comeback win against the Colts. They handled the Broncos. They only won by 2 of the Lions, which I guess the Lions just like giving up. Either they'll give up completely or they'll just give up at the end of the game. And then they beat the Chiefs as well, and then they had lost the Raiders at the beginning of the year. But I think the Ravens are the more well-rounded team at this point in the season. And that'll finish up the 1 o'clock games, the 1 o'clock side. I pick the Ravens.
And we all have the Ravens, as Rubenski has the same thing. He's got Baltimore winning at home. It should be a really good one. That's one you don't want to miss. Next one is the Philadelphia Eagles on the road against Sam's Las Vegas Raiders. Raiders coming off their win last week against the Denver Broncos on the road. Didn't necessarily see that one coming, but Raiders seem to have mostly pushed past the John Gruden mess. So I think this Eagles team is not good. So I'm taking the Raiders to win this one. Philadelphia is not a great team. I think Las Vegas has got more talent than the Eagles do. So give me Las Vegas in this one.
This was always an interesting game for me and my brother, Steven. He's the Eagles fan. I'm the Raiders fan.
Yeah.
They play each other once every 4 years, and we're always, going at each other, seeing who's going to win this game. But I think the Raiders have them beat talent-wise, as long as the Raiders don't beat themselves. That's how they've lost these first the 2 games they've lost. The Raiders just beat themselves. What they've done in the games that they've won, they've thrown the ball deep because they have speedy receivers. They have Henry Ruggs at third. They have Edwards on the outside edge, a new developing wide receiver that Carr likes to go to. They have Darren Waller, one of the best tight end / receivers in the league. If Carr can keep hitting those receivers on their routes on time and get enough help from the offensive line, enough pass blocking so he doesn't have to scramble around. He's not the best scrambler in the world, but he is good enough to get himself some room to throw. If the offensive line can just hold up and give them enough time, which I think they can against a depleted Eagles team, I think the Raiders will get the win as long as they don't beat themselves. That is the only way the Raiders lose, is when they beat themselves, which is exactly what they did against the Chargers and the Bears.
Yeah, but Las Vegas should be in good hands for this one. As for Jacob, he actually forgot to put this one, so I don't really know what his pick is yet. I'll put it in eventually. Well, I'm not even gonna, I'm just gonna put this one in. We're gonna move on to the next one. We all know who's winning the next game on here. Obviously, the Rams. So now we have honestly, Lions are bad. I mean, this team, they play hard. They try so hard, and I like to see the effort. Well, the Bengals just completely demoralized them, but most of the time I've seen this Lions team play, and it's not like they're not trying. They are putting in the effort to try and win these games, and they keep coming up short, and they keep losing in the most heartbreaking way possible. Like the 2 times they lost 19-17 to the Vikings and the Ravens on 50-plus yard field goals. One being a 66-yard field goal for a NFL record-breaking make. Just how do we end up doing this? I don't understand this. Are we going to do the same thing to the Rams? Probably not. We'll lose out 40. But just how do we manage to get so close to a win and then just somehow lose? It mind boggles me how we're able to do that so many times. But I don't think there's any explanation needed for why we have the Rams over the Lions, unless you want to say something.
Well, I'll just say this: it's Goff's homecoming. Stafford's playing his former team. There's obviously the trade happened at the end of last year in the offseason where Stafford and Goff were traded, and a few other trades, obviously, options happened during that. But Stafford knows his Lions team. He was on this Lions team since 2009. He was on it for 11 years. He was on this Lions team. And he probably went up against them in the practices, and he probably picked them apart then. So he's probably just going to think back to those practices and be like, all right, yep, I know what they're going to do here and here and here because it's the Lions. And it'll probably be a little emotional for Stafford. It'll probably be really emotional when he comes back to Detroit when they play each other. But the Rams will definitely handle the Lions. And if they don't, that will be the shocker of the century.
Yeah. I would be surprised if the Rams didn't win by at least 30 or 40 points. That's exactly how much they should win by. But our next one is the Houston Texans on the road against the Arizona Cardinals, the only undefeated team actually in the NFL, the Arizona Cardinals, who will remain the only undefeated team in the NFL. There's no chance. Well, I shouldn't say there's no chance they lose to the Texans because there is a chance. It just is not likely. I don't see it happening. Not even close. Give me the Cardinals.
Yeah. Man.
Houston's the dumpster fire.
They looked absolutely abysmal last week against the Colts. That just did not look good at all. I believe is Davis Mills. He's the starting quarterback for Houston at this point.
Well, he's the backup. Tyrod Taylor is supposed to be the starter, but he's hurt.
Well, Davis Mills.
But Davis Mills is the one that's playing right now, yeah.
Yeah, he does not look like a quarterback that belongs in the NFL, quite frankly. It just looks disastrous for Houston. And Arizona only looks like they're getting better and better and better. And I honestly don't know if the Cardinals will lose a game this year. They got the Packers, so that will be a good game.
And the Rams again.
And they have the Rams again. And the Cowboys. Yeah, the Rams, the Cowboys, and the Packers. Those
and the
Seahawks.
Seahawks. I'm just kidding. They're not beating. They're
no. But the Cardinals have been rolling all year long, absolutely pounding the Browns. Even though the Browns got multiple injuries that game, but even before that, they were pretty much blowing them out. Took out the Rams handily, the Titans handily. The Cardinals just look really good, and the Texans do not. And then J.J. Watt gets to play his former team.
Oh, yeah, he is. Oh, boy. Oh, no. Oh, no.
Exactly. So they'll probably have a couple sacks for sure.
Yep, so we all have the Cardinals. As take a wild guess, Serbenski has the Arizona Cardinals winning this game. So our shocker there, right? So our next one is the Chicago Bears on the road against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. No, Bears are bad. Tampa's winning this one. I don't even think it's that much of a question that Tampa Bay wins this one. They're at home. The Bears are not good. We will not have a confusion on fourth down this time, I don't think, from Tom Brady. So we should be okay there. But I don't have any faith in the Bears to be anywhere close in this game. Give me Tampa Bay.
No, yeah. Still doesn't even make sense to me that Jim Nantz and Tony Romo are doing this game. Like, oh, come on, you guys could be in Tennessee or in Baltimore doing one of those two games. But no, you're doing an all NFC matchup also doesn't make sense to me. A lot of things don't make sense to me in the NFL or in sports anymore. So I'm not one that adjusts to change extremely well. Don't like change too much. That's just a little personal note. But the Buccaneers, the Bears don't really have an offense, honestly. They've got a pretty solid defense, and that was why they were able to keep up with the Packers. But when it came down to crunch time, and they needed to go get a score, go drive the ball down the field against the Packers, they couldn't do anything on offense. So if it comes down to that again, their defense is really going to have to keep them in this game. They want to be even close, but I think Tampa Bay runs away with it in the end.
Yep. And Srbenski has the same thing. He has Tampa Bay in this one. And now we have the Sunday night game, which actually is a decent Sunday night game, but something like the Bengals and the Ravens, or definitely the Chiefs and the Titans, would have been way better to have on Sunday night. But this is still I guess, decent game, but it's still like what it's like the Steelers and the Seahawks last week. It's like, okay, this is a decent game, but why is this on Sunday night? This doesn't make any sense. This is supposed to be your best week of the year.
It ended up being a really good game.
It did end up being a really good game, but it's like there's so many better teams you could have put on Sunday night in prime time. Why is it the Russell Wilson-less Seahawks against the pitless Pittsburgh Steelers?
The Brad Pitt-less Pittsburgh Steelers?
No pun intended. Sunday night, we have the Indianapolis Colts on the road against the San Francisco 49ers. The Niners get their second Sunday night primetime game at Levi's Stadium, as their first one was the Packers, where they left too much time for Aaron Rodgers. The Lions could have told you that one. So the Indy Colts seem to maybe have found it again after getting to wipe out on the Texans. Not that wiping out the Texans is anything special, but Colts are definitely, I'm thinking, getting on the right track here. They nearly beat the Ravens. They got a blowout against the Texans. And this Niners team, just like a lot of teams, is very much hurting right now. A lot of injuries. I think the Colts get done on the road. I think they take down the Niners, go to 3-4.
Yeah, I think the Colts have definitely turned the corner. They needed that first win down in Miami, and they got it when they needed it after coming off 3 tough games. The Seahawks, Russell Wilson, the Rams, and the Titans. All a really tough schedule. Beat the Dolphins. They turned the corner. Carson Wentz has looked like a really good quarterback the past 3 games. They have, if I'm not mistaken, they still have Trey Lance is going to be their starting quarterback for this game. I don't know if Jimmy G's back yet.
I think Garoppolo is this. I don't know. Who knows? I believe Garoppolo is back for him now, but who knows?
I don't trust this 49ers team. The Colts have really turned over a new leaf, so I'm going to side with the Colts. They're going to get it done Sunday night. And if the Chiefs end up beating Tennessee after the abysmal start to the year, the Colts only beat 1 game out of first place.
All right, yeah, and Srbenski is differing from both of us. He has the 49ers winning this game on Sunday night, which I definitely could see, but I think the Colts are finally putting it together. I think the Colts might just finally put it together, finally get on the right track. Niners could win too, but it's more of a 50-50, I suppose. And now we have the really interesting Monday night game, actually, with the Seattle Seahawks at home against the New Orleans Saints. Saints coming off their bye this week. And the Seahawks, well, they're still without running out of power, but they're still without Russell Wilson. So that's obviously an issue. But the Saints are a very wild team. They have great games and they have really bad games. So it just depends what Saints team you get to see. Um, I think in Lumen. I want to say Century Link Field, but it's now Lumen Stadium. It feels weird to say that, but or it's Lumen Field, not Lumen Stadium. Whatever. The Seahawks.
Why did they change it?
I don't know. You have to ask the idiots who changed it. But Saints and Seahawks. I think this is a 50-50 game, but Seattle, they can't win without Wilson. Give me the Saints to win this one. I know they nearly did last week, but we saw fumbleitis, we saw bad defense, we saw everything for Seattle. It doesn't work. It's Wilson or bust for them, and they're not winning this week.
Here they are. Welcome to Lumen Field. Following September 2020, they rebranded the field to Lumen Technologies. So I guess it's the technology company that took over for CenturyLink. Yeah, CenturyLink sounds like just those are better names than Lumen Field. But for the game wise, Seahawks seem like they are not that great a team without Russell Wilson. The Saints just seem like a really confusing team, having lost to the Giants and the Panthers, and having beat the Packers and the Patriots and Washington football teams. So they've beaten a couple of average teams, and then they beat the Packers. They're only lost to them. So Saints most likely are the better team, and they should get a win. And they don't have to play the Seahawks with Russell Wilson or Marshawn Lynch, if you recall that.
Yeah.
Against the State. So they don't have to play either of those guys in Seattle. And as long as they can contain Geno Smith, I think the Saints should be all right. They'll probably pick up the win here on Monday night.
Not to mention the fact that the Seahawks are also missing Chris Carson. They don't have Rashad Penny. They might be without Alex Collins. So there's a lot of injuries for Seattle. And the same goes for Trubisky. He has the New Orleans Saints. And we have 6 teams on bye this week. As we have the Bills, the Cowboys, who have been really good, the Vikings, the Steelers, Chargers, and Jaguars all on bye. So that is all we have for this week. Thank you for listening. Until next time, adios, everybody.
One final note.
Yes.
One final note. Yeah, any interest in baseball? Just a quick side note for baseball. The Dodgers have just won, and they to a 3-2 series, and they'll be heading back to Atlanta for Game 6 on Saturday. And tomorrow, Houston will look to finish off Boston in Game 6 at it's Minute Maid Stadium. So, just this little side note on baseball: Houston's got a 3-2 lead, Atlanta's got a 3-2 lead, and those series should both be done at least by Sunday. We'll look to see if the Braves want to choke again, as they have another 3-1 lead this year, and they're only 3-2 now after losing 11-2 tonight to the Dodgers. But those are just little side notes on baseball, just to get a little baseball coverage in there.
Yeah, they blew the 3-1 lead last year. Can they blow it this year? Who knows? Find out in a couple days. So that'll be it for us. We'll get on to NCAA football next, as hopefully we'll have Stravinsky for that one. But until then, adios, everybody.